Conversations with Ed Marshall is underwritten by EMA Consultants and Speakers Bureau, Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, SafePoint GPS, Delgado Community College, and OTP Poetry Anthology.
Award-winning broadcast journalist Ed Marshall asks the tough questions you want answered. Informative, soul-stirring, one-on-one interviews about matters that affect our lives in this region we call home. Here now with Conversations is Ed Marshall.
Well, hello. It's hard to believe 2021 is coming to an end, and as the calendar pages turn, many are still putting their lives back together in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida and the stinging death due to the coronavirus. The human spirit, however, does great things. There are still volunteers helping storm victims, others with the grit to keep fighting to win lives over the coronavirus, and yes, those to protect and to serve are still on duty, like the men and women who work for the FBI. Joining me in the studio is Mr. Corey Harris, the Supervisory Special Agent for the FBI's New Orleans Division, and the Director of the FBI Community Coalition, my longtime friend, Preston Jones. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having
me. It's good to have you all.
Good morning.
I was afraid that people were going to let y'all in the gate because when Corey flashed FBI, I said, oh, he's okay. well, let's talk a little bit about what you all, what the FBI does, Corey. You know, there's so many views on about what you all do, and some of these things are myths, and some are just give us the intricacies of the job and the role you all play here.
Okay, so the FBI, our responsibility is to investigate federal crimes, crimes that have a federal nexus to it. Mm-hmm. We're here to protect the community. We partner up with state and local agencies to accomplish that mission. And then there are times when, we have to investigate, unfortunately, some of our own. Here in Louisiana, the New Orleans field office they're responsible for investigating all federal crimes here in the state of Louisiana.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you say federal crimes, you're talking about white collar, blue collar?
Yes, it's a range of crimes. You have anywhere from terrorist related type crimes, protecting intellectual property, cyber crimes. You have crimes where financial crimes that we investigate, crimes that involve children, whether it's child pornography or human trafficking. And we also, other crimes such as healthcare crimes.
Sure.
So it's several different types of violations that we investigate, and we look at the state and we try to identify what the threats are in the state, and we prioritize those threats.
That's fantastic, and we're happy to say that you're homegrown. You're from Louisiana.
Yes, I'm from Ville Platte, Louisiana.
Good place.
I attended Southern University, where I was able to obtain an electrical engineering degree. Moved to Dallas, obtained my master's business administration there. Worked in engineering for probably about 10 years, and then decided I wanted to do something that was a little bit more fulfilling.
Something to give back.
Yes, exactly.
And has it been for you?
Yes, it has. Very rewarding.
That's great. That's great. Let's talk about the man next to you, Preston Jones. We've been involved in community service, a lot of initiatives, a long time, and of course, you were plugged as the director for this, something that's been formed that's really nowhere else in Louisiana and rare in other parts of the country, which is a community coalition to assist the FBI. Tell us how that came about.
I received a phone call from then Supervisory Special Agent Ron Reed, who stated that the special agent in charge, which was Brian Vaudrin, was looking to partner with the community. I've been working with the FBI since '05. A lot of community engagements, and some things behind the scenes. And when he called me, he said, I'm going to give him your information, and I want you to set up a meeting. And when I went to the meeting, Corey was already there, which I knew Corey, but not like I know Corey now. Met Corey, and Mr. Vordran partnered Corey and I together to initiate the coalition, and we started last year, and it's been growing ever since.
And how do you select who makes up the coalition in terms of the people in this community that you all want on task to help?
I look for community leaders, pastors, politicians, anyone who wants to be involved in the community and have a bright mind to want to learn and grow with the FBI, and have just good partnership skills to get along with others, because we have different people from different nationalities, different personalities, so you have to be able to get along with everyone in the coalition and be able to respect other people's opinion.
And that's working very well from what I understand, because I've been to several of those meetings. And once you all gather information on some of the things that you all get, is it given back to Corey and his folks, or how does that work?
People bring information to me, and I bring it to Supervisor Special Agent Corey Harris, and he'll bring it to the appropriate section leader, squad leader rather, and we've had a lot of great fruitful information.
So you all have been able to assist in actually bringing down crime, as they say.
Yes, some cases have been open in regards to some of the information that has been provided to us, and it's a two-way street. We provide information to the community, and one of the missions of this coalition is for us to be able to provide information to individuals that are participating in the coalition, so that they could take it back to their neighborhoods and share that information with people within their communities.
You know, and one of the things that's always been something that's been in the news a lot of times, just not on the FBI level, but on the basis of people saying, I don't want to get involved because I don't want to, put myself in jeopardy or whatever. Do you find that people that are working with you all feel secure that they give you the information and they feel secure enough to know that it's going to be handled properly?
Yes, so we take several different measures to protect the identities of individuals that provide us information. Once we get information, we never use that individual's name in the documents that we actually put together. We use different identities or different monikers, and then we do our best to, when we go to court or if there's some type of court document, we request that information, the identities of those individuals that provide the information be sealed. So we take various steps to protect their identity, and we work with people. We give them the option. And, if someone is not comfortable testifying, that's fine. We usually corroborate the information they give us in other ways, so we use those other methods in order to obtain the same information that was given to us initially.
I was studying a lot of the stuff that you all do, and this is all over the country. The FBI really gets involved in terms of community, whether it's something related to crime or not related to crime. You all truly get out there and try to be part of the betterment of the community. So tell us about some of those kind of things.
Yeah. So our goal is to serve the community, right? And the only way we could serve the community is by interacting with the community, developing a relationship with the community, so there is a level of trust on both ends. The people in the community, they know what's going on in their community. They understand what the threats are, and with us, we listen, and from the information that's given to us, then we prioritize those threats. Each community is a little different. Each state is different. So Louisiana has, certain threats that we definitely have to deal with, but the community is the voice that provides that information, lets us know what we need to address.
You know, one of the things that when I was at one of your meetings, you all talked about that there's opportunity for people to get involved in the FBI, and I gather, Preston, that's some of the things that you stress to people when you're out in the community.
Yes, we stress a lot of being involved with the FBI, and there's a piece every summer, the FBI Teen Academy, and we select students from different backgrounds, different cultures to come and be a part of this one session where the different squads presents what they do. And what I've learned is it's an opportunity most students have not even dreamed about, know about, and now they want to become FBI agents or work in the FBI field somewhere just to be a help or something within the FBI. So what I've learned is that exposure that really gives them, I could be something great, I can give something back, because we're looking at the pinnacle of law enforcement when we say the FBI.
Right, right. Because, you know, most people say, you know, what do you want to be when you graduate or whatever? Rarely an FBI agent comes up, you know. And it's probably because they have not seen themselves in that position. And of course, from what I understand, you're one of the leading African Americans within the state with the FBI.
Yes. So the FBI should be a reflection of the community. And Louisiana has a very diverse community. And one thing we're pushing is recruiting people of different ethnicity. And it's important that we do that because we want to make sure that everybody has a voice at the table. And that's the only way that we're going to be fair across the board when we're conducting investigations or when we just addressing issues within the community.
Okay. Gentlemen, I appreciate you all being here. We're going to have to wrap it up. Any parting words for our audience out there that are listening?
Just want to say to young people, hey, there are many opportunities within the FBI. You don't have to be just a special agent. There are other positions within the FBI that you could pursue. We're hiring anywhere from nurses to mechanics, people with financial background, people with technical background. So, you know, when you trying to figure out what you want to be in life, hey, consider the FBI.
Super, super. Well, happy holidays to you both. You're going to probably be in Acadiana, Ville Platte, you know, eating some wonderful food. I'll be down the way in St. Martinville doing the same thing. And Preston, I know you'll be here with your wonderful family. Yes. So we just wish both of you happy holidays and keep doing what you're doing for our community and come back and see us again.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
When we come back, we're going to talk to a very special businessman in this community who celebrated 70 years in a special organization, and he's been mentoring young men for years. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks for buying a fishing license.
What the?
I know, but listen. I want you to picture all of the great things this simple purchase does. Like building public boat ramps, keeping local waters clean so families can fish and swim, and maintaining a healthy fish population.
What's Mom doing?
It also provides fishing education and activities for the kids, and funds long-term plans to protect our lakes and streams.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Did he?
When you buy a fishing license, you do a lot. Because every dollar from a license purchase protects and maintains your local waterways for future generations to enjoy. Learn more at takemefishing.org/Louisiana.
Well, welcome back. It's been said that it is better to light one candle than curse the darkness. Local businessman, civic leader, and African-American trailblazer, Dr. Charles Teamer, is all of that and more. We're honored to join him via Zoom. Dr. Teamer, welcome, and we're glad to have you on our conversations. How are you today?
I'm delighted to join you. Looking forward to it.
Okay. You know, when I arrived at the Four Seasons at the foot of Canal Street last Sunday, one would have thought that the president or some other ambassador was in town. There were so many people there milling about from throughout the United States as well as other countries. And they had come here to basically pay honor to you, to thank you for being a mentor to so many young people and open doors business-wise to so many people, particularly African Americans. And you've done a lot of this through the oldest Greek letter fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And you celebrated 70 years as a member of that esteemed organization. And you've also served as general president. So this, I could go on and on and on. What was that day like for you?
Well, it's always good to know that you've been appreciated, but that's not why you're driven to do the things that you do. It's been my pleasure to have been involved in a number of activities, as you know, but then I grew up in a family that was involved in activities, and you do what is natural to you. You're not looking for success, but you do the very best you can because that's what you've been taught to do by your parents and those in favor of you.
Yeah. You know, when you came here, of course, years and years ago, you were set Dillard on fire, as they say, in terms of education-wise. And so many young men there have been mentored by you and catapulted their careers. And I dare go into the list of different fields that they're in. What's your message, Doc, when you talk to young people about the chosen fields of study, and just what is your message to young people now who are going out in the world trying to make a difference?
Well, it's important for me to say to them the same thing that my ancestors said to me. You've got to do the best you can all of the time that you can. You can never expect to be the second-rate person. You want to be number one. And it's important, especially as African Americans, that those of us who've been able to do well, to help those that we hope to do well. Because I was very fortunate that a lot of men were helpful to me and took me under their wings and mentored me. And so it's a natural feeling.
Yeah. You know, one of the things, you and I have worked together many years in different organizations, and I never forget one of the things, and I tell this to people when I speak to young people, there's nothing wrong with living well while doing good. And I always keep that in my heart because I truly believe that. And as an African American, you were one of the people, along with Dr. Francis and past Mayor Dutch Morial and Martin, those Morial and people like that, who were some of the door openers for us here in New Orleans. Particularly, I know you were very involved with the Port of New Orleans, which is one of our major economic engines for the city. What was it like knowing your every move and your vote seemed to be, I'm sure, dissected to some degree? And what was that like, being one of the first people to work with that kind of organization?
Well, one of the things that you learn early on, that you're always going to be observed. So you do the best you can all of the time that you can. And the Port of New Orleans was a great opportunity. One of the things that impressed me when I first became involved with the port, that there were a number of African-American men who'd been involved with the port, and there were two unions, a black union and a white union. And I found that the men in the union were extremely well organized and doing a great job. And they were helpful and happy to see me come to the Port of New Orleans. And I would say that all of the people at the port were very cooperative, and it was a great experience for me. It enabled me to travel virtually all over the world and to be able to see men and women in other countries who were happy to see an American come and help them. And I will always remember my first trip to Africa. Just a great experience.
I'm sure. it does me good whenever I go over to the office there to see your name there along with so many other people in business. We talked about young people who have, sometimes have mentors, but there are so many African American males that don't necessarily have, who can see themselves through other people. What do you say to those young men who basically have no mentor? Give us some advice.
Well, the first thing, Ed, I was very fortunate, and so therefore I've been really concerned about my spiritual sons. And I must say that in many instances, I feel that my relationship with my spiritual sons may be even better than with my blood sons, because the spiritual sons are very grateful to have someone take a special interest in them, to spend time with them, and that's what you do, and I do it because that was what happened to me.
Well, I tell you what, I consider myself one of those spiritual sons, and I do appreciate the knowledge you've imparted to me and so many others, because I've been in a situation where I've come to you to ask your advice, and that's always been very gratifying to me. Doc, you look like you're not slowing down at all, so you're still involved on different boards. So what's your next port of call, as I would like to say?
Well, Ed, I've been very fortunate. I have slowed down for the first time that I can remember. I do not have an office anywhere but at my residence. I'm still involved in a number of activities, and I expect to always be involved. And one of the challenges that we face, that we can't do enough for the thousands of young African-American men who are here today, who need advice and counsel. And I'm pleased to say that I'm still having lunch with young men and finding ways to help them. And as I said earlier, it's been my pleasure that my spiritual sons are also very grateful for the advice that they receive, that you can't stop giving it to them.
One of the things that was amazing to me with the Alpha Phi fraternity and all the other Greek letter fraternities is that you go places and you really never meet a stranger. On the Diaz, the day of the you were honored, there were all of the still living general presidents, and there was one that was on the phone, and that's not happened to my knowledge in the organization. Tell us, what was that like to you?
Well, it's interesting that three of the last three general presidents are men that I signed their membership when they became members of the organization. So I've known them from very young men and had a special relationship. The current general president is from the Illinois area, and I remember meeting him in Chicago when I was the general president.
Wow.
And I saw this young man following me through a store one afternoon. And I was very suspicious, and I turned around and said, what can I do for you? And then he realized that it was just two African-American men exchanging greetings. And I think that the most important thing that for me has been the opportunity to work with, I would say, hundreds, maybe thousands of African-American young men all over the world, and you're well known in almost every city or port that we travel in.
Yeah, because the list goes on and on from Dr. King to you name it, and we just want to thank you again for being a part of our community and the things that you've done to basically, we stand on your shoulders. So we just want to let you know that we appreciate you, and we look forward to many more years of getting good information from you in terms of how we can move about with our futures. So, Doc, congratulations. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Ed, and continued blessings to you and your family.
Thank you. That was Dr. Charles Teamer, one of our outstanding businessmen here in New Orleans. Well, history has been made again in Louisiana, and that's on the Louisiana waterways. The former deputy director of the Port of Plaquemines has been tapped as the first African American to become the director of the Port of South Louisiana. The 54-mile jurisdiction of the Port of South Louisiana extends along the Mississippi River through 3 southeastern Louisiana parishes: St. Charles, St. John the Baptist, and St. James. So that is congratulations to Mr. Paul Matthews. Good job, and I know you'll do a great job down that way. And the folks down in Plaquemines, talked to so many of them. They're sorry to see you go, but they're happy for your new experience. Well, in other news, the spirit of giving is evident and present, of course, in this holiday season. We want to talk about a wonderful partnership with Sanderson Farms, the New Orleans Saints. They teamed up with the Delgado Community College culinary arts students and prepared and distributed meals to 4 separate southeastern Louisiana communities in need of support in the wake of Hurricane Ida. Thank you very much. And members of Nu Alpha Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha prepared and delivered holiday food baskets for needy families on the West Bank. The organization donated its first Alpha Locker, also changing gears now, to a school over in West Wego, the Isaac Joseph Elementary School. So many times young people don't have all of the supplies that they need through the year, and their parents are hard-pressed to get them. Well, now, through Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity and Nu Alpha Lambda, each school, they're going to work toward putting a locker in those schools where students can go in and get paper and pens and all the kinds of things that they need to work on themselves and to be the best that they can be in their schools. So fantastic, congratulations, and we just wish everybody a happy holiday. We're out of time, so we will go into the next year expecting good things ahead. Thanks for keeping company with me through these 12 months. We'll visit with you again next year. Until then, take care of yourself, do something good for someone else, and to remember, always stay in peace, not pieces. Happy holidays to everyone. We'll see you. Conversations with Ed Marshall is underwritten by EMA Consultants and Speakers Bureau, Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, Safe Point GPS, Delgado Community College, and OTP Poetry Anthology.